Welcome to another Last Day on Earth video, and this one is all about grenades. During this video, I'll be showing you where you can find grenades inside of the game, how to use them effectively. I'll also be giving you some safety advice on using them, and we'll also do a quick section on grenades versus other explosive weapons inside of Last Day on Earth. So there's actually quite a few places that you can find grenades inside of the game, and I've got this infographic over on pressingx.com, which I'll link down below. But there is one really big catch about getting grenades in Last Day on Earth, and it all hinges on one specific skill that you unlock inside of the game, and that is the Burglar skill. The Burglar skill is probably going to be the number one thing that keeps you from farming grenades for the longest amount of time in Last Day on Earth, and that's because it is a randomly doled out skill. Whenever you level up, you get to choose between 3 skills, and the Burglar skill has no predefined drop level, and it's all completely random, so there's no real set in stone way to get it. So it's not the end of the world if you don't have the Burglar skill. You can still get a ton of grenades through season passes and seasonal events. You'll just need to keep your eye out for when those drop. I've actually made a previous video on how these events are so important for getting other rare materials inside of Last Day on Earth. And if you're into these videos and my Last Day on Earth content, I'd really appreciate it if you consider subscribing and maybe dropping a like on this video, as they take a good bit of time to create, and I'm also putting out more Last Day on Earth all the time. So let's say you do have the Burglar skill. A great place to get a ton of grenades is Bunker Alpha. Here I am on the 2nd floor, and you can see I've got this locked locker here. You can find a grenade here. This is a pretty easy location to get it, and you can get this in both normal and hard mode. So if you clear hard mode as well, when you do hard mode, all the grenade locations reset so you can get double the grenades. You can also get one there from that locked chest on floor 3 in that Frenzy Giant room. And then we're going to head on down to floor 4. This one isn't too difficult to get to because you don't have to clear much of floor 4 to get access to this locker. And you can get a grenade from here, but the next one can be a bit difficult. And this is on floor 4. I'm not going to recommend this chest to many people because it does recommend you having to go through the turret room and all the cold storage, and that can be a death sentence for a lot of players. But if you are experienced enough to get to this area in the 4th floor, you can get 2 grenades in that chest, and that is a pretty nice payoff. And that's going to do it for Bunker Alpha. Next up, we're going to head on over to the Motel. And the Motel is a bit of an easier location for a lot of players to find a grenade. All you need to do is head on up to this first room on the left. And if you open up this little closet here, you can get a grenade from here pretty reliably. That's a very easy location as it doesn't even require you to clear much of the Motel. Next up, we're going to head on over to Blackport PD. And this location is a bit hit or miss, but I'd say I get a grenade most of the times that I open this locked locker here. This time I didn't, but I cleared this area right after on the next clear, and I did get a grenade from there. Another way you can get grenades is at red zones, and to do this I would recommend using the bloodhound perk on your dog. This is going to help your grenade drop rates overall, and it's very important if you are going to be looking for grenades or other rare items inside of red zones in general. So I went to red zones like 5 times without the bloodhound perk active, didn't get any grenades from these locked chests. The first time I activated it at 10%, I got a grenade in my first locked chest. So this perk, I would say, is a really big game changer in that regard. And here's some quick footage. If you don't know how to use grenades, you haven't used them before, all you need to do is tap and hold, and then you can rotate your finger around to change where you want to throw it, and then bring your finger closer to the center of the circle to adjust the distance. But you can also cancel by just moving your character, but most of the time I'm just tapping on the grenade. As far as armor, as you can see with that set I took 82 damage. When we move on up to tactical, the grenade only does 66. And then I'm going to switch on over to SWAT here, and with SWAT you're going to only take 55 damage. Now ideally you won't be inside the blast radius when you use these grenades, but it does happen, and it can happen quite a bit when you're first starting off with them. So let's get on over to a practical use for these grenades. There are actually quite a few methods for using grenades. A lot of people will use them at the farm or Bunker Alpha levels and use wall tricking points to build up enemies and then throw grenades. That takes a good bit of trial and error, and the tried and true method that I use grenades at the most is at Blackport PD. There's a lot of enemies in Blackport PD, so the grenade damage really spreads out, and it's a location where this really helps because you normally use a lot of guns here as there aren't any wall tricking points that you could utilize here. As far as a comparison, the mill core does the same damage as the grenade. However, with the mill core, you are going to be taking that explosive damage as you stand in the radius to group up all the enemies. Landmines are still going to top the grenade because you don't take any damage with landmines, and they are extremely powerful, and they can completely kill these enemies with just one hit, and you don't really have to do any work at all. It's actually really fun to use landmines, but grenades are farmable, landmines are not right now. If you're interested in learning how to get some of these rare items inside of Last Day on Earth, I've got a comprehensive guide over on pressingx.com, where I've got a page that links out to all of my weapon guides and item resource guides, and you can find all that information over there linked below. And if you're interested in more Last Day on Earth video content, check out my LDOE log playlist, where I've got all the series videos in there. Thanks so much, and have yourself a great day.